We are going to get started with our first speaker. So, our first company for this afternoon was the first recipient of a commercial banking license after the Central Monetary Authority liberalized banking in the mid-1990s. So, this company is EastWest Rural Bank. So, EastWest Rural Bank extends inclusive financing for underserved sectors, especially through its Teachers Loan Program for public school teachers and government employees. So, to talk about empowering communities through financial literacy, the EastWest Ways approach, we will have a chat with the EastWest Bank's Head of Sustainability Office. So, he is spearheading the development of the bank-wide strategy on sustainability reporting, sustainable finance, and social sustainability programs, including a financial inclusion initiative that will pilot a purposive long-term financial literacy partnership with the Department of Education. Now, I know that was a lot, but we're going to break it down for everybody, all right? So we all understand what's going on and the wonderful initiatives coming from EastWest. So without further ado, please welcome on stage EastWest Bank's Vice President and Head of Sustainability Office, Mr. Dave Jesus de Villas. Right, Sir Dave, please have a seat. Use your mic.
There you go. Thank you so much, Sam,
Yes.
for the kind introduction. And
Thank you for being here this afternoon.
Thank you. Good afternoon, De La Salle University. Yan, isang masigabong palakpakan naman. I'm so happy. Finally, Manila Bulletin, thank you so much for inviting us here. You know the journey, but so thankful for the students who joined us today. Just a little bit of trivia, Sam. We had 3 interns for EastWest Bank Sustainability. Nandito yata yung isa. Alam mo, ang gagaling ninyo, mga business management with minor in sustainability. So I had 3 DLSU interns. Palakpakan naman po natin ang sarili natin. I think I can see her pero baka shy siya. But just letting you know, thank you so much Manila Bulletin, De La Salle University for supporting sustainability. And today, we're here to unpack what is that for you guys. Yeah.
All right. So before anything else, baka may magtatanong mamaya kung may internship pa available sa iyo, sir.
Definitely.
Ayun.
Definitely. EastWest Bank has an internship program. We have our marketing team here. You can approach us later on. Teachers who's in charge of the internship program, definitely.
Okay. So, kidding aside, so let's go ahead and start, Sir Dave. So, before anything else, I think you are going to just give us a brief background on EastWest, especially for those who maybe are not super familiar. Most of our audience here today are really students, so perhaps their exposure to banks or banking in general is still very immature. No, it's getting there. So maybe you could give us a brief background first on EastWest and some of the initiatives that were mentioned earlier.
Correct, yeah. So just a way of introducing ourselves. Again, I'm Dave de Villas. I'm with EastWest Bank. But did you know EastWest Bank is part of a conglomerate called Philinvest Development Corporation? As you can see on the screen, our mother company is already 70 years old, celebrating this year, the 70th milestone anniversary. And last year, si EastWest Bank naman celebrated 30th year anniversary. Sino dito? Anong average age kaya dito? 18? 16? How old are you guys? 18. Oh, diba? 18 young. Diba? So, yeah, quite young for a bank, right? 30 years old. And then under EastWest Bank Enterprise, we have also our EastWest Rural Bank. Binanggit kanina ni Sam, we're doing a program for teachers. A bulk of our customers for the rural bank are teachers. We also have the EastWest Insurance Brokerage for your non-life insurance needs. We have EastWest AGS for our life insurance. And we also have Quest for our marketing. So, our topic today is about spending smart, wisely, right? Essentially, sustainable financial behavior, a sustainable lifestyle. And it's very aligned with what EastWest Bank would like to do today. So, just a caveat, I'm not a financial guru ha. Baka mag-expect kayo mamaya, I will teach you tips. We have financial experts from the bank approach us later on if you'd like to learn more about it. But what we are here to talk about is our financial empowerment program, because EastWest Bank believes that financial wellness is not just personal, it's social. Sinong mga teachers natin dito, professors, bukod sa students? Yon, magandang hapon po, ma'am. Very critical din yung role ng schools, educational institutions in our financial empowerment, because one teacher who is equipped with financial literacy will have a classroom of about 30 students, ma'am, no, for one. How many sections yun? And over the lifetime of a teacher, let's say 30 years teaching, how many students yung impact natin doon? So we in EastWest Bank, we have a customer segment of public school teachers. So we want to experiment on our financial literacy program, and we hope to impart that with you. And so happy that the students are also here, because you are going to help us amplify our advocacy on financial literacy and sustainability.
Okay, there we go. So, wonderful opening. Let's go ahead and start. So we have a few questions that came in, and essentially we'll just be asking those questions, Sir Dave, and then we'll just throw the answers at the audience. So to kick things off, actually earlier this morning during the presentation of Board Member Jokno, so he really laid the groundwork that obviously today is a very consumer-driven environment. No, it's all about consumption. But what does smart and sustainable spending look like given that context of how the market or the environment is heavily consumer-driven nga?
Yeah, okay, good question. At this point, dear students, allow me to assume like a lecturer role and show you this graph. Okay? We talked about consumerist spending. Sino dito yung member ng environmental orgs or clubs in the school? Can I see a raise of hands, please? Do we have? Okay. Sige. Okay. Quick, lang to, story time tayo. What you can see on the screen is the carbon footprint of the Philippines since 1990. Who here was born in that year? 30 years. Kaedad ng EastWest Bank, diba? I'm assuming kayo guys, baka 2000s, 2010, right? So, so here is a graph, a snapshot of the country's carbon footprint. The one below, the black line, actually that's blue, no? That is the carbon emissions of the production side, meaning manufacturers, factory, power plants, right? The one on the upper part, the red line, that is called the consumption emission. Kaninong emission yon? That is yours. All of us in this room, that is mine. People would demonize big companies no, for doing big carbon emissions. But we haven't stopped and asked ourselves, how much is my carbon footprint? Right? Okay, so ito yon, yung red, diba? So, for EastWest Bank, that is also our opportunity because EastWest Bank is a retail bank. Consumer-driven kami. 80% of our customer base are the ordinary Filipinos, salary loan, housing loan, auto loans, right? 20% of our customer base are from the corporate. Ito yung nasa production side. Okay, you will ask me, sir, anong connection nito sa financial literacy? Did you know, the more empowered you are, the more informed your spending will be. Your spending is tied to the kind of lifestyle that you live, and that lifestyle will have an accompanying carbon footprint. Example, for those na minimum wage earners, the capacity to buy would be yung tingi culture. If you're familiar with that, my money can only afford me to buy sachet, packets of coffee, sugar, pansit canton. Kasi yun lang yung kaya ko. But the packaging is plastic. Imagine, in a week's time, how many packets of plastic are consumed and how much of that goes to esteros, causing floods. So meron siyang kaukulang carbon footprint. So I'm not saying na it's bad because at that point in time, yun lang yung financial capacity ng Filipino and the money can only afford so much. It so happened that the product na affordable sa kanya are plastic heavy, plastic intensive, right? Now imagine a scenario, you guys, you become more financially knowledgeable, you grow your financial situation, okay na, diba? You now have the choice. My money, will I buy plastic-based products or will I buy from those that are environment-friendly? But take note, those choices would have a price. May accompanying price siya. And the more environment-friendly, unfortunately today, that would have a price premium. But in the long run, your consumption, if you have the financial capacity to choose environment-friendly products, would lessen your carbon footprint. And I hope that happens. That's why we're teaching this. We have this topic today because as early as today, magandang starting point with you guys before you become part of the labor force and you earn your salary. By the time you earn your salary, you know na the power of choice. Diba? So ang layo ng tawid ko, but I'm telling you, this graph is something na eye-opener for me as well. I used to come from the renewable energy industry and I really advocate for environment-friendly practices. Diba? But the more I mature and the more I work in sustainability, it becomes clear that the topic is not clear-cut black and white, environmental versus polluter. Because if you look now at the ecosystem, especially the financial ecosystem, no, may intersection yung ating carbon footprint with our financial capacity and financial knowledge. And we will unpack more of that. But suffice it to say, remember this graph? Pag sinabi ninyong close coal power plants. Of course, yes, in the long run, mas talaga yon, polluter siya. But try also to think of a way na in your own small ways, you have the ability to improve your consumption so that it will not be impactful or carbon intensive. Okay? I'll stop there.
Oh, yun. So, I think lalo na for our management students or yung mga students studying economics, no, this is actually something that really applies because it's essentially the whole fundamental of supply and demand, right? If we're able to increase demand for eco-friendly products, then eventually economies of scale take place that drives down the price, and this is actually also addressed. But it all starts with the individual choice of the consumer. So thank you. And
Sam, sorry, before I forget,
yes.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Before we go to the next question, Sam is right. The line below, there are a lot of efforts already on how to manage that. Two things. Number one, because of have regulations, heavily regulated to. Before you can even operate a power plant, sangkatutak na compliances, certification from DNR, from DOE. So madali siya i-control. And the banks, not EastWest Bank kasi we're consumer, but other banks are now mandated. See, Mr. Benjamin Jokno was here earlier this morning, right? Bangko Sentral, take note, is actually mandating banks to now have a sustainable finance framework, meaning create a way for the capital to be utilized for envi-friendly businesses. So that's why may mga banks na hindi na nagpapautang if you are into coal or non-renewable projects. And then banks are now motivated or compelled, if I may use the word, because Bangko Sentral, banks are now compelled to allocate more loans for renewable energy, for LEED buildings, even for social enterprise. So, kaya mas mababa siya. But guys, I encourage you, join us in creating Albaro Union Bank's co-creating innovations for a better world. Friends tayo dito. Pero mamaya, EastWest Bank naman. So, I'll borrow that word. Let's all work together to find ways to bring this down. The red one. I don't have the answer yet today. Maybe you guys, when you finally work and you are involved in a company that creates solutions for this, do so. Let's help bring. Kasi ito pa yung unchecked eh. the consumption side. Ito yung parati nating dinidemonize pero we haven't stopped and asked ourselves, sa bahay ko ilang plastics ang na-accumulate from my Grab food delivery? Am I even practicing passive cooling? Do I turn on the aircon 24/7? Things like that. Small behavioral changes, small spending changes, financial behavior changes that could lead to a better sustainable lifestyle. Sorry, ang dami kong sinabi. Sorry, Sam, please continue.
No, it's wonderful. Thank you. I think actually that concept and starting off with this graph really ties in actually to our next question, because when people talk about financial spending or even consumerism, it's very focused on the individual, right? So we think about, when we talk about financial literacy, it's usually from the perspective of personal prosperity. But siguro, Sir Dave, you can give us context for EastWest's case in particular. How does it actually envision the role of empowering Filipinos to spend smart, live wisely, not just for the personal self, but for national progress on a bigger scale? Similar to this, how the small actions compile and have a bigger effect.
Okay. Simple lang, and that's our topic today actually. And it boils down to two words, financial literacy. And I'm so happy that Manila Bulletin is having this kind of discussion today with you as the audience, because financial literacy is really the start of that financial empowerment journey. I'll relate that to the whole situation of the country today, right? So, I hope that you are not part of this statistics, right? This is a survey from the BSP, right? So 37.6 million of Filipinos remain unbanked, diba? If you have the capacity now to open an account, go to EastWest Bank. We have products, we have bank accounts that you can choose from, of course. So ito yon. So pag unbank kasi, wala ka sa formal financial system. If you're not part of the financial system, wala kang credit history. And in this economy, you need to have credit history, especially for those who are entrepreneurs. You want to open up your own business after graduation. You need capital and you need to have credit history. So if you can, starting early as today, even if you are a student, diba? My wife started as a working student, working for a fast food chain. Meron siyang bank account when she was just 17 years old, 18 years
Magandang
old.
araw po sa inyong lahat.
Taga-Lasal din
Sa
siya.
Manila
So working
Bulletin,
student.
Sustainability
So good
Focus
example of that. So
Si Senator
that's a good
Bacak
start. So hopefully we get
maraming
to
salamat sa Manila
close,
Bulletin
to
para sa
decrease the
oportunidad
number
na
of
kausapin
Filipinos
kayo
who are
ngayong araw.
unbanked. Okay?
Sa harap ng
So
lahat ng krisis
that means
na
yung
kinakaharap
financial
ng ating
inclusion
bansa
then
ngayon,
we have to address.
at bilang lingkod
Meaning,
bayan na may
who are those
responsibilidad
na
sa taong bayan,
unserved? Ito yung tinatawag natin na financial
ang aming
inclusivity,
paninindigan at
right?
pagpapahalaga sa
Underserved. Luckily,
Sinusubok man tayo bilang isang
BSP has
bayan,
been working on
buo ang
that.
ating loob.
Naku-close
Ihatid
natin yon. There are
ang
more
tulong at
people now
serbisyo na
who are
nararapat sa
included
bawat
in the banking
Pilipino
system.
sa
So from
pamamagitan ng ating
23%
trabaho
lang
sa Senado.
in year
May
2020, it's
tungkulin po
now
kaming pangalagaan at
56%
na ang
as of
pera
last
ng
year.
bayan
Diba?
ay
And then of
mailalaan
course,
para
with
sa bayan.
that,
Leadership
it
with
will
integrity
lead to
is
hopefully
critical in handling our
economic
nation's money.
sustainability.
At sisiguraduhin
Everyone
po
is
natin
doing
na ang
banking,
2026
formal
budget
channels,
at mga susunod
right?
pa
And
ay mga
using the
budget na
bank
tutugon
not
sa
just for
pangangailangan
loans.
ng
This is
nakararami.
something that we would like to
Kailangan po natin
emphasize.
ang inyong
Banks are
suporta.
not just for
Kaya
utang.
patuloy po kayong magsalita,
Diba? You can
makialam at
borrow
kumilos at asahan niyo po
also
na may kakampi
to
kayo sa Senado.
accumulate wealth.
Kasama niyo kami
Later
sa
on
laban
at your stage in
para sa
life,
isang mas
maybe
inklusibo,
you will now
mas
have the
makatao,
capacity
at
to
mas
save
sustainable
some
na kinabukasan.
and use that
Muli po,
money in the
maraming
bank
salamat sa
to
inyong lahat.
accumulate more wealth. More wealth would mean more financial empowerment. Babalikan ko yung thesis ko. You now have the option to choose products that are less polluting and then help other people also imbibe that kind of lifestyle. Okay? So what I'm just trying to say here is the graph. Financial inclusion is not just about access to banking. It's about empowering the unbanked, the financially excluded 37.6 million Filipinos to participate in a sustainable economic growth. Yeah.
Ayun. Sir Dave, I'm curious lang. Sorry, just question before we proceed. Etong jump from 2020, from 23% to 56%, did the pandemic somehow have a role in increasing the financial inclusion of Filipinos?
I would say so, yes. Because people were pushed, were motivated to join the formal banking system. Tama naman. You're right. The pandemic, in a way, helped also. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, just curious lang kasi it's a big jump parang tapos around that time. All right. So you spoke a little about money management earlier. So for EastWest, as far as I understand, it really frames financial literacy not just from money management but also as building legacies, right? So things that go beyond our lifetime and serve a future generation, which is essentially the whole concept of sustainability. So what does this mean for everyday Filipinos, and how can financial literacy impact families and communities over time?
Sorry, thank you for that question. Allow me to show you another interesting statistics now. So I'll jump my slide to this one. Ta-da! This is you. Legacies, no? Intergenerational banking. So, by the way, EastWest Bank just started the Sustainability Office this year. So one of the things I did is conduct a research and a survey. And from the profile of our respondents, this is the result that we got. Interestingly, okay, raise of hands. Sino dito would identify Gen Z, ages 18 to 27? Don't be shy. There you go. Let me know kung tama ito ha, but this one is the profile we got from our survey. Millennials. Tada! Okay. Out of respect for the Gen X and baby boomers, acknowledging po, thank you for being present here. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Yun. Ito yung key insights, no? Start natin sa Gen Z. We call you the practical idealists. Banking and sustainability, no? So leading to dun sa question ni Sam about building legacies. Today, this is the snapshot of the perspective for people ages 18 to 27, tied probably because the financial capacity to purchase nga products that are sustainable. You don't have that yet, pero strong ang inclination nyo, ang demand. You demand of products, companies, businesses to be sustainable, right? So, however, least willing daw to pay ESG premiums, diba? But you want authentic sustainability built into products already. My coffee is locally sourced, things like that. The clothes that I buy, locally sourced, ethically produced. Or uso ngayon yung thrifting, diba? That's a good practice naman para hindi napunta sa landfill, sa mga damit. But you're also highly price sensitive. And then you expect sustainability as standard, not a premium. So there's no sense for you paying more for sustainability because you guys expect it's already embedded in the product. Okay? Let's go to the millennials. Kami to ni Sam. May opportunity dito. As you can see, mababa yung financial knowledge. That's why EastWest Bank is doing the financial literacy program because there is an opportunity. And small win siya, low-hanging fruit kasi may capacity to pay. So, however, gusto rin ng mga millennials yung digital first, embedded na, and then they want convenient sustainability without complexity. However, we still need education and guidance. Let's go to the titos and titas, the Gen X and baby boomers. Dito, mature na. They have the capacity to pay, most willing to pay ESG premiums. They want transparency and impact reporting. Kaya BSP and SEC are really requiring publicly listed companies to do sustainability report. That's in response to this clamor from this age group. And then they prefer branch relationships. Despite the digital, gusto pa rin yung makausap si relationship manager. Iba pa rin kasi yung may personal touch eh. Diba? Don't you get annoyed when you have a banking transaction that did not push through and then you call the hotline and then AI and bot yung sumasagot sa inyo. But you want someone, a human being, to respond and to empathize with your situation, diba? So ito yon, dito. And that's why it's really a combination. In EastWest Bank, we have hyper-localization. In our stores, you can get the best of both worlds, digital, physical, digital, we call it phygital. So we have that also, catering to that. And then they value security and improving sustainability. So this is the blueprint now on how we would want to build financial empowerment across generations, building legacies. We celebrated our 30th anniversary. That's one generation already. We want our loyal customers to continue banking with us through their children. So ito yung legacies. And in doing that, we would like now to introduce the concept of sustainability, financial literacy, financial empowerment, and financial inclusion. Because that's how we build now meaningful legacies. The dream of that generation has happened. We would like to focus on the dreams of the children of our customers. And that's why intergenerational and building legacies. Yeah.
Okay. So, Sir Dave, if I can tie together actually some of the topics that was mentioned or talked about this morning to what EastWest is doing. So earlier today we were talking about from the central, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. No, they highlight 5 pillars for financial literacy. So that's earn, save, and invest, protect, spend, and borrow. So how does EastWest integrate those 5 pillars of the BSP into the programs and products that you offer for young families and young professionals?
Correct. Across the different products of the bank. That's why, without, of course, being too literal about the prescribed principles of BSP, but it's embedded. And we would like to intensify that principle, no, of financial literacy. So, as you can see on the screen, that graph, those are the prescribed principles of Bangko Sentral. So if banks would like to develop their own financial literacy program, it should align, because we have a national strategy for financial inclusion. May targets, may metrics, which is good kasi trackable siya. So any bank or any organization that would offer you financial literacy, please take note, all of these 5 principles should be present. So remember that, okay? Yan. Earn, save and invest, protect, spend, borrow. Perhaps tonight when you go home, maybe you can ask your parents, are we practicing the 5 simple steps lang naman, diba? Or later on, if you work na and you're earning, it really pays for you to practice this. So Sam is right. We are, for EastWest Bank, yes, we do. And in fact, we are piloting a program, which I will talk about later. And I'm excited about that because it focuses on teachers, public school teachers. We're teaching them financial literacy. The ultimate goal is for them to achieve a good credit score that would allow them not just to be included in the banking system, but also to access more financial products to improve their lives. But suffice it to say, yes, in EastWest Bank, yeah. In fact, our CSR, our employees in the stores would have financial literacy sessions in schools, lalo na nung nagbrigada eskwela, nung June or July, and then nung Teachers Month. Every time we go out there, that's really the default, financial literacy. And this time, we are creating a template, a material that's aligned with Bangko Central's 5 principles of financial literacy. So that's one example, part of our CSR. Digital tools promoting systematic wealth building. So once you're already saving and you put it in a bank, doon papasok yon sa save and invest. We have insurance products also, like I mentioned. So part yon. Once you've built your wealth, you have to protect. And insurance is very important. Insurance for your house, insurance for your auto, kotse, pag binahayan, diba? So you need that protection for the assets that you've built, right? So again, just letting you know, yes, EastWest Bank is fully subscribing and adhering to Bangko Central's financial literacy principles.
All right. So, Sir Dave, for our last question to wrap up this session before we bring you back again for the panel discussion. But I think you touched on it a little bit earlier. But coming in together, so with the 5 pillars of BSP and the initiatives that EastWest has, is there a particular customer segment that you're looking at now on focusing on, or do you have any programs or initiatives particularly around that segment of choice for EastWest?
Yeah, you you're right. So as I mentioned earlier, this is first dibs kayo guys. We are soft launching, no, just letting you know that our subsidiary, EastWest Rural Bank, is into teachers' loans. So we have about 200,000 customers, public school teachers. So imagine the impact. We're piloting what we call a Guru Wais financial empowerment program. The goal here is for our teacher customers, to really be part of our financial empowerment and inclusion campaign. Imagine, the loan term is 3 years, 5 years. That is the runway, the window where EastWest Bank can help them achieve good credit score. After today, please research. As early as now, I cannot emphasize more the value of good credit score. When I was new working, I got my credit card. At ginamit ko lang siya for consumerist spending. Hindi ko siya ininvest, di ba? Tapos, hindi ko binabayaran yung monthly na payment, minimum lang. That has a very bad impact on your credit history. So, but over time, I was able to fix my credit history and improved on it. And it takes time, So today, there is this thing called Credit Information Corporation. It tracks your financial behavior. If huli kayo magbayad ng bills, who here has mobile data plans? That's included. Meralco, Manila Water bills, and even if you have credit cards. So yon. So with that in mind kasi, we would like now to teach our pilot beneficiaries, the 200,000 public school teachers, and help them go the path of financial empowerment. So what will happen is it's long-term, it's purposive, and what works well is that our employee themselves will be the one are the volunteers to teach financial literacy to the teachers. And it makes sense kasi sila rin yung account officers, relationship managers. So CSR with business thinking, may quota, and then ma-retain namin yung customer relationship and then customer loyalty. But at the same time, we're creating social impact through Guro Wais. If given the chance to come back here and talk to you, we might be able to tell you the result already. But suffice it to say, we are launching this in 2026, and we'll let you know. Public school teachers siya, DepEd muna. Who knows, we can partner with Manila Bulletin and LaSalle. We can also do that here, right? Teachers pa rin naman yung model natin. It can be part of our, for the school, we can have talks about that, part of your career orientation. Let us know. EastWest Bank is here to help you that. So I'll stop there. So yeah, it's designed essentially for public school teachers. It should be easier. And because Visayas, Mindanao to, hindi digital, again, it's important to do your research and design your program. Kasi even if maganda yung technology, but the technographic profile of your recipients hindi naman aligned, it won't work. Just because it sounds so nice, let's do AI, let's do TikTok. But mind you guys, the 200,000 beneficiaries namin, they don't have the time to log online. Nagtuturo sila 8 to 5. Pag uwi nila, magda-lesson plan. They have kids to take care, household to take care. What we do as part of our customer service excellence, our account officers drive to their school to bring the forms to have them sign. Tulong na rin yun kasi they're helping teach the future of our nation, the kids, diba? So might as well give them that convenience. And as an added bonus, we'll teach them financial literacy. So in return, they can also teach the students in that school. So a lot of things to do pa. Letting you know that this is what we're going to do. And hopefully we can come back and share with you the results of our program.
Well, thank you very much, Sir Dave, and thank you for the time. We'll close it, but so a round of applause, please. Thank you very much.